Kenyans are really, really excited to have a change that they can really be happy about. I read the judgment, Sam, and it is making a lot of sense. Of course, this is one of the emerging issues of the contradiction of the Constitution and the interpretation of it thereof. Or, of course, the Article 136, subsection 2A, is very clear that elections are supposed to be carried out on the second Tuesday of the month of August, not after, in the fifth year. So it is, I think, even the Court of Appeal will sustain that judgment by the High Court. And also there is no article except for the MCA part, that is, I think it's 259 or something. But most articles don't define the 5-year term. And I believe that is one of the contradictions in the Constitution that requires to be looked at and the courts to advise accordingly. But the judgment is very clear that, yes, we should have held our election this year. And that interpretation has come in quite late. It would have been, if it was done last year, maybe there is something that could have done. But now we have to wait until the next elections to move on. But these are the things that maybe as a house, especially the House of Parliament, must come in and even debate about. And I'm looking forward to see a debate in the House on the same, to see areas that we can be able to guide and help help the constitution alignment. Yes.
And Mheshimiwa Kibagendi, because these are two positions, so you hear what Hesbon is saying, not agreeing with the judgment. Mheshimiwa Mukunji is agreeing. You'll tell us why you stand between those two positions taken. But then also, if we wanted a 5-year term, what can we do to make sure that the Constitution reads our intentions, or we implement the intentions of the Constitution?
Thank you, Sam, for this opportunity. Like Honorable Mukunji has said, most Kenyans were really excited that they would get this government out of power sooner rather than later, after the pronouncement of the court. And one thing I would like to say is that Justice Mugure is one extremely bold judge, and we know the number of times she has come out strongly on issues she feels she has been convinced adequately by petitioners that actually matter to Kenyans. You remember, again, even on the issue of housing levy, I think, she's the one who said it was unconstitutional, and a number of other things. On this one, I want to pick up from where my brother Hesbon finished, whereby he was looking at, is it that because of the extended period of President Kibaki and the shortened period of President Uhuru's first term, can that be the reason we are looking? The judge looked at it that way. But again, instead of agonizing on this ruling, I think it is now time we actually get proper clarification from our courts, because that is where we can get interpretation on our constitution. It means, of course, there'll be an appeal, and out of that we'll now get a ruling that will guide all the upcoming elections. How I wish it would have happened today, or is it tomorrow? It would have been today or tomorrow, so that we get rid of this regime that has really oppressed us. That is all I can say.
Okay. But I'm also wondering, Hesbon, because you'll find that in different parts of the Constitution, let me just read this. If the Deputy President assumes office as President under Clause 2A, and then continues to say, the Deputy President or the person elected shall be deemed, for the purposes of Article 142, to have served a full term as President, if at the date of which the person assumed office, more than 2.5 years remain before the date of the next regularly scheduled election. So when you say more than 2.5, What are you insinuating? Should that be the half term, or?
I think basically it means that once you've served more than half of that whole term, then you are basically saying it can be considered as good as you've served.
So what is half? Half of what?
By half of 5.
But the Constitution does not speak about 5.
I think it doesn't speak about 5 except in the case of, I think, the MCA. But again, the advisory opinion that was sought,
yes,
then on the gender issue, then delved into that and said that the election of the president, the governor, and the senator are so central to the election and function of the county governments.
Yes.
To an extent that more or less that advisory opinion was merging the two, because for county assemblies to work or county governments to work, they follow through certain decisions at either the Senate that affect their cycle and calendar. So there's a way in which there is it's more like a chain that binds all of them. So I feel that we all need to go look at the 2 key advisories. One that was sought by the Attorney General in terms of interpretation of the gender rule and how it can be progressively implemented. And 2 on when to hold the general election that was sought by the IEBC in 2011. I think those 2 advisory opinions, in my view, from the Supreme Court, did touch on the date of election and a purposive interpretation of both. And that's why I brought in the angle of, if you talk about a calendar cycle, then you are talking of January to December. So in that particular year, whether it starts in August, it's that year. Then that way, you don't have a problem with the reading of the Constitution. But if you go and say 5th year, because 5th year can be interpreted also to mean 365 days after a certain date, that will be an anniversary cycle. Then that raises a question of going to the 6th year, and only 2 elections in our lifetime would fall within that law. And that's why I said it was 2017.
And 2016.
That is the first time you would have a Tuesday, second Tuesday being the 8th.
The 5th,
The next time, 8th of Tuesday, August, would come in 2062. that is
well, of course, there are some grounds that the judge set out in determining how years are counted as per the Constitution, and that she was explaining that's why that the year begins on the date after the general election. But all is good. I'm just looking at what you're saying, that the term for an MCA is clearly defined as 5 years. Where will I find that?
Article 177.
So a county assembly consists of members elected by registered voters. So where in particular? Because subsection A tells me on the election will be on the same day as the general election of members of parliament, being the 2nd Tuesday in August in every 5th year. Where do you find 5 years?
I think there's a place that says that the county members of county.
A county assembly is elected for a term of 5 years. Oh yes, I see that.